Greetings, everyone. It is Leah Love, and I am back for another edition. I ran across a fantastic video that I really wanted to share with you all. I do not own rights to them. However, it is absolutely worth it, and I hope you will listen to the end. This video is about the subject racism being the main cause of what happened last week at the Capitol in DC. And I really like his way of explaining the current state of events as it relates to Black people being completely manipulated and created like infants by the mainstream media and by the Democrat narrative. And I love the fact that he stated that honestly, Black people, it's not always all about you. And when you go down this road, which seems to have no end, and you're only being used by Democrats to create an infantile, dependent state of people and group of people, you end up being able to fall for every single okey doke. And the way this brother lays it out, in terms of what happened and in terms of the mentality and the mindset of the people that are Trump supporters and or that were there in DC is brilliant, because it just simply has to be said. And lastly, one of the first things that really caught my attention, even though it was towards the end of this video, is the way in which he states that if you're having identified yourself as Black, then and that has all of the associated negative mental mindsets and mentality, victimhood. You can't do this, you can't do that, everyone's against you. Well, then stop being Black. And I know that a lot of pro-Black folk will not understand that at all, but you have to ask yourself, when has identifying as this new term in terms of being called Black over the past 40, 50 years, 60 years, how has that helped you? When in fact, those who have been the most successful have not been so concerned about, quote unquote, a term, which is an identifier for a group of people who are perpetual sufferers, perpetually attempting to overcome something. They have not associated themselves with that first. It's not to say that you don't see yourself for who you are when you look in the mirror, but associating yourself with a level of victimhood, a false history overall, that is definitely not working, particularly in 2020 and 2021. And secondly, it allows you to keep yourself away from making the claim that you rightfully have, which is that you're an American and you have claim to America, and you belong to America as an American. And for most people that I've talked to, when they released the shame or the cloak of quote unquote Blackness, which comes with all of these associated negative ideologies that have not served the group as a whole, as soon as they began releasing that, they began to see that yes, they do have a stake in America, that America is theirs just as much as any other group of people here, and that they can be about the business of actually living and prospering and moving forward with life. Perhaps we would not have, what was it, 46% of our population over the past, 30, 40 years have been, killed through abortions. You've become the smallest minority. The Latino has risen astronomically just in terms of their numbers and their power in this country, because they are focused on the dream of America in terms of what America really has to offer. And they're not worrying about all this other stuff. They're putting family first, prosperity, business, education first. And I think Black people would want to look at, this statement that we all know, if you keep doing the same things multiple times and expecting different results, that would be the definition of crazy. And unfortunately, over these many decades, Black people continue to carry on this ideology and this separatist mindset, which has done nothing. Meanwhile, the families are torn apart. Abortion is at an all-time high. Crime in our neighborhoods are at an all-time high. And so one would think, if you have that much pride in your Blackness and in your state of Blackness and your state of victimhood, that none of this stuff would be going on. And yet it's only increased, despite all of these calls for quote unquote Black unity, which is just a falsehood, because there's very little Black unity amongst Black people, unless it's something that, your liberal handlers tell you that you need to follow and do, such as voting for Biden. Then it's herd mentality and you guys just run left. And so I really appreciated this video, because it is giving me hope that there are still people with half a bunch of sense that are still in this country and around the world that see things for what they are. So I hope you guys will stick to the end and hear him out because it's great stuff. And then also, if you enjoy the content, please consider subscribing, but also check me out on Rumble because at any time, you know how things happen. So I am Leah Love Online on Rumble also, and I'm also now on Telegraph, which is another platform that we hope will be a safe space for real freedom of speech. And so you can also find me on the app called Telegraph, and I'm on Leah Love there, or Leah Love Online is my channel there. So I hope to see you guys over there, but please subscribe and like and share these videos from YouTube as well, and we'll keep at it until there's no more opportunity to keep at it. All right, enjoy the video.
What did I tell y'all? What did I tell y'all? I told y'all. Now listen how they're going to try to spin this. They're going to make you think that all this is going on because these folks are racist. And I told you all before, the one thing that white people in America hate more than anything is socialism, communism, dictatorship. What do y'all think was going to happen? What did you all think was going to happen? I told you all. I told you. When the country was shut down, the only thing that got the country opened back up was them Trump supporters, because they went to them capitals and said, open the country up or else. I told you all this. They keep telling you all that a white person is racist because they care about their country. That is not the same thing as a person that hates black people. This is two different arguments. There are white people that hate, there are white people that hate black people and hate America. There are white folks that hate black people and love America. Then there are white folks that don't hate black people and still love America. What the media is trying to tell you is that because these white folks know their rights and care about their rights and their freedoms, that they're racist. That is a trick. They tell us we don't have any rights. I don't believe that. Now, guess what? They allowed Black Lives Matter and Antifa to tear the cities up all year. They was tearing up businesses, they was tearing up cities, and y'all called it peaceful protest, and nobody had a problem with it. Nobody had a problem with Black Lives Matter and Antifa tearing these cities up. Not one person cared about it. Y'all said it had to happen. Y'all said it needed to happen. All this stuff, y'all praised all this chaos and anarchy going on all year. But as soon as these white folks, and I told y'all, these patriots, these rednecks, and these Trump supporters, I said as soon as they get tired, they're going to show you all what the protest is really about. You notice they didn't tear a neighborhood up. They didn't tear up a business. They didn't loot or riot. Where'd they go? They went straight to the source. They went straight to the source. They went to the Capitol. They went straight to the people making decisions, and they stormed the building. And guess what? I love it. I love it. It's not about black and white. The media is tricking y'all. And I told you all, stay out these people's way. I told you all, stay out of these people's way. I told you what they were going to do. I said it. Look at my videos. I predicted it. I got receipts. I told black people to stay out these folks' way because these people are not storing bunkers or having bunkers. They don't have tanks in their backyard. They don't have Hummers in their backyard. They're not storing up 5 years worth of food for black people. They're not thinking about black people. They're thinking about America because they know where America is headed. I told you all that these Democrats, these liberals, and some of these Republicans, I believe that is 90% Democrats is with this, about 60% Republicans are with this, 100% of black leaders are for this. New agenda, new world order, great reset, China take over, all of it. They for all of it. I told you all, when these white folks get fed up, get out of the way. I told you. Don't get in the way because it's not about you. Did them white folks come to the black neighborhood? Did those white people go to the black neighborhood? No. They didn't go to no neighborhoods. They didn't go to no businesses. They went straight to the source like I said they would. I told you all. I told you all this is going to happen. I told you. You know why? Because unlike us, these white folks care about America. We're in America thinking we don't belong to America, but we built the country. Ain't that crazy? How you black in America? It was your land. It was your country. You built it up, but they tell you it's not your country. It's not your land. You aren't a part of it. That's BS. That is BS. The worst thing these folks would fear is that if everybody unified, I keep telling you all, get past this race stuff because it's all a setup. It's a gimmick. I just had somebody text me, Trump trying to start a race war. Race war? How is it a race war and they're attacking white folks? Think about it. How is it a race war and they're going after white people? How is that a race war? That's how lost and brainwashed we are. That is how lost and brainwashed we are. How is it a race war and they're going after white people? Please explain it to me. Again, they bypass. Think about it now. They are in Washington, D.C. There are plenty of black folks in Washington, D.C. There are plenty of black folks in Washington, D.C. to start a race war with. Remember, Chocolate City. So they bypassed all the black people. They went past all them black folks and went straight to Capitol Hill. It is not about race. I'm telling you all this. They don't want America to be communist. That is the bottom line. I'm telling you this. They don't want America to be communist, and you shouldn't either. And you shouldn't want America to be communist either, black people. Because if America is communist, that means you go from where you are now to a subclass, which is slavery. You all don't understand that. None of this is about race. These white folks ain't thinking about black people. These white folks are thinking about America. And if y'all had some sense, y'all would get in line. I told y'all to stay out of these folks' way. I told black people, don't get tricked by the media and hop in these white folks' way. These white people do not have a tank in their backyard for black people. These white people do not have a bunker under their house for black people. These white people do not have Hummers covered up in camouflage in their backyard for black people. These white people have been preparing to fight the deep state this entire time. And I told you all this. Stay out of these people's way. I told you, because y'all ain't got the courage to fight. They do. So let them fight. Y'all don't have the courage to fight. You know what we want to do? We want to march. We want to sing songs, hold hands, sit at lunch counters. That's what we want to do. Them white folks is about it. Them white folks willing to die for this country. We ain't willing to die for nothing. So again, stay out of these people's way. This has nothing to do with race. Absolutely nothing. How is it a race war if they're attacking white people? How is it a race war if they're attacking white people? Hold on, let me get this straight. Y'all used to always talk about taking the White House over. All these militant rappers and militant people, let's take the White House over. But guess what? When the white folks do it, it's racist. Get out of here. It's foolish. It is utter foolishness. I told you all. I predicted it. I feel like Muhammad Ali now. I told y'all. I shook up the world. I'm a bad man. I told y'all this. Stay out of these white folks' way. I keep telling you all, you're not black. So the moment you say you black, you are already in confinement and bondage. You ain't black. So now look at this situation from a non-black person. It's not about race. There is no such thing as race. Get it out your head. Now look at what's going on and ask yourself, why are these white folks so mad at the government? These white folks are upset like y'all are upset. The only difference is they ain't singing no songs, they ain't marching down the street, and they ain't tearing up folks' businesses. Y'all didn't have no problem with them Antifa and Black Lives Matter tearing up these folks' businesses all year long. Y'all had no problem with it. Now y'all got a problem with these white folks who got some value that at least say, this is my country and we're going to take it back. That's not racism. That's the media telling you all that it's racism. Meanwhile, all these Democrat and liberal leaders are taking your rights away each day at a time. You can't do this. You can't go there. Somebody told me that a white person was racist because they didn't want to wear a mask. I don't want to wear a mask. So what am I? I don't want to wear a mask. I feel like a mask is infringing upon my rights. I do. So what does that make me? All this is propaganda. I told y'all, stay out of these folks' way. Stay out of these people's way because the fight is not about you. These white people have been preparing to fight against the government since this thing started way back when. Them white folks been bucking against the government because America was founded on by the people, for the people. America is a republic. America is a republic. They want America to be a democracy. You've never seen nothing good happen from democracy, just like you ain't seen nothing good happen from a Democrat. There's no such thing as democracy. Democracy is everything y'all hate. Tyranny, dictatorship, everything. America is a republic by the people, for the people. You do your research. We have a lot to do with what America is today. Us, what y'all call black people, but you ain't black. But I got to say it so y'all understand what I'm talking about. Listen to what I'm saying. Stay out of these folks' way. These folks done bypassed all these black folks in D.C. They ain't go down one street. They ain't harass one person, not one Karen, not one Tom. They have not bothered black people at all. They went straight to the Capitol. They went straight to Capitol Hill. So don't tell me this is a race war. Don't tell me that. There is no reason for anyone to think this is a race war when it's white folks going against white folks. It's going against white folks. So what I'm telling you all to do is to get your mind, cut CNN off. Cut CNN off for at least a day. Cut CNN off. Pretend you're not black and look at the world for once in your life from an unfiltered lens. This is not about race. These white folks know that they want to turn the country into a communist country. Kamala Harris got a socialism commercial. Y'all don't see the writing on the wall? This is the problem. We had hieroglyphics, but we didn't learn nothing. We had ancient Kemet, but we didn't learn nothing. We had great civilizations, but we didn't learn nothing. We conquered the world, but we didn't learn nothing. We done did all this in the world and we falling for the banana in the tailpipe. Come on, man. We got to stop this. We got to stop this. I don't care what black person they put in your face. If they in politics and they a black person, they make it and they're a Democrat, they not for you, period. And guess what? They ain't let no black person or Republican make it. So I'm telling you what the difference is. It ain't about Democrat or Republic. It's not what it's about. This is about America being America. I'm telling you what these liberals want. They want America to be a third world country. And that spells slavery for black people. They put all these folks in your face. And it's not about race, though. It's not about race. Racism is economic. It's not about race. It's nothing to do with skin. You ain't even black. You see the color of my skin? I'm not black. Look at my eyes. I'm not black. So it's not about the color of your skin. This beanie is black. This is black. You ain't black. So what I'm telling you is that these white people, like I told you they was going to do, stay out their way because they was going to head to the Capitol. These white folks wasn't playing. These white folks been preparing for this for years. They started writing on the wall and they knew it was hieroglyphics. We started writing on the wall and we thought it was graffiti. We didn't learn nothing. Black folks will always be doomed to repeat history because we refuse to let history be our teacher. We are always caught up in the moment, emotional. These white people are telling you, these liberals, that this is about race. How is it about race if they're attacking white people? Y'all didn't have no problem when they was tearing up the cities all summer. They tore up the cities for about 5 straight months, protesting, tearing stuff up, and they calling it peaceful protests. But yet buildings on fire, people losing their businesses. And they told y'all it was peaceful and y'all went for it. Black Lives Matter, communist organization, Antifa, communist organization, backed by the Democrats, backed by the liberals, tearing up the cities, and nobody had a problem with it. Nobody had a problem with it. Now all of a sudden, these white folks bypass all them tactics and then go straight to the source like I said they would. Because these white people feel how you should feel. Because this is your country. There's no way in the world they're going to take the land from me and my people, make me build a nation on it, and then tell me they don't owe me nothing. That's what we accepted. We should have been stormed the Capitol. Black folks should have been stormed the Capitol. We should have been stormed it. We should have been fed up and tired. But guess what we want? We want to see somebody black that's going to oppress us. We want to see a black face in front of us that's going to oppress us. That's all we want to do. That's all we want to do is just see somebody black. All this stuff going on, global agendas, great reset, Peter pandemic scams, all this stuff. And all we care about is seeing somebody black. Look what we've been reduced to. I don't want to hear nothing about no racism no more, no oppression. These white folks gave you the blueprint. Then somebody going to say, well, if you black, you couldn't do it. That's your problem. Don't be black. If you black, you can't cross the street. Don't be black. If you black, you can't storm the Capitol. Don't be black.